Are you ready for pain? Are you ready for suffering? If the answer is yes, then you're ready.
It's Trans Week of Awareness. And what y'all cis people decided to do was take this week and invalidate neopronouns. Who made you believe that that was okay? Because as allies, all we ask you to do is support us. We're not asking you to speak for us, because I haven't heard a single trans person invalidate neopronouns. It's always the cis people. Y'all are always commenting on our problems, on our community. Don't say you're an ally if you're gonna speak over us. And if you are trans and you're invalidating neopronouns, what kind of internalized transphobia? Just because somebody doesn't experience dysphoria in the same way as you doesn't mean they don't have it. A neurodivergent person identifying as bugs and bug self will not hurt you. It will not hinder you. Y'all are so quick to say gender is a social construct until somebody's gender doesn't align with your societal views.
So you acknowledge that gender is on a spectrum, you acknowledge that it's a social construct, and you acknowledge that some people lie off of that spectrum, but when people put a name to their non-binary form of gender expression, you, aka neopronouns, you get in a fuss?
This man, just go after him. Just go after him. All these things. White men started it. We should have already had the right to vote. You were also the Nazis. How are you being discriminated, sir? Are you being profiled? Are you being profiled because of the color of your skin? No, you are not. White privilege is racist. You are fucking lying. If you've never had to fear not getting a job because of the color of your skin, yeah, that's white privilege. If you've never feared being profiled, that's white privilege. You fucking idiot. Male privilege. Yeah, male privileges, you know, look at the wage gap. That's a thing. Yeah. This guy is all wrong.
Okay, soon as I stepped in the club, I hit up the back, show my niggas some love. Hit the restroom up when I'm finished, seen some bird I ain't seen in a minute. She's like, Banks, where have you been, honey? What it look like, bitch?
94% of people who have eating disorders are not considered medically underweight. There are many people walking around in this world who have either normal or are in large bodies who do suffer from severe eating disorders, but we discount those just because they don't look like a skeleton. They feel invalidated, like their eating disorder and their struggles are not valid unless they look emaciated. But guess what? Even if you are in a normal body size, even if you are in a large body size and you have an eating disorder, that is valid. You need help, you need treatment just as much as someone who is underweight.
Every single one of us has a duty right now to use our voices for good. We need to speak up, just like we all spoke up last year with the Black Lives Matter movement.
This is a thought regarding white people who say that white privilege is not a thing because they themselves have not experienced privilege in their life. For example, they've gone through abuse, poverty, reverse racism, discrimination, etc. I used to be close to someone who happens to be white, and they pretty much think this way, and honestly, I can't blame them, because they've had a pretty brutal life, and they told me about how when they were young, they were the only white kid in their school, and because of that, they were bullied, discriminated against, made fun of, pushed aside, shunned, nobody wanted to be their friend, everybody called them a racist, and that continued on into their adult life. They could just be walking down the street and a group of people will walk by and say, hey, look at that white person, they must be racist. Not only can I understand, I can relate to why it would feel so terrible to be told all these terrible things about you when you yourself don't believe these things to be true about you. I experienced a very similar type of bullying when I moved from Texas to Mexico as a teenager, and even though I grew up speaking Spanish with my Mexican parents, I did not feel comfortable with my Spanish level at the time because I had previously been made fun of for it. So I chose to stick with English and only speak English with my friends. And because of that, so many people in my school would automatically assume that I'm a snob, a pretentious know-it-all that just thinks I'm above everybody and that just doesn't want to make friends, and because I think that I'm better. And it hurt. It stung for people to avoid being friends with me because they thought that I was all these bad things just because I'm white and speak English. However, none of these experiences, nor does not having lived a privileged life in general, they don't mean that white people don't benefit from white privilege. It doesn't mean that white privilege doesn't exist, because we live in a world, in a society as a whole, that favors whiteness and lighter skin tones. That's the unfortunate truth. So we function through this world differently, and we are not at all oppressed or marginalized in the same way as our BIPOC counterparts. Now, let's touch on reverse racism real quick. And I'm going to give a clear example as to why I personally do not think that it equates to actual racism. You know how some people say that they have a preference when it comes to dating? Well, I personally prefer to avoid religious folks because I've had very bad experiences with religion and religious people. And both of my first official boyfriends were abusive men who happened to be religious. So I prefer to stay clear of that group of people because I don't want to be further oppressed or marginalized by them. There are other people, however, who say that skin color preferences are the same thing and just as valid when they're not. Skin color preferences are based off of colorist and racist ideologies, while the other thing is literally avoiding further oppression and marginalization. I just really wish that as white people, we could just start acknowledging our privilege and understanding that we function through this world differently because of our whiteness.
Welcome to the 10-minute power hour. I'm Danny. I don't want to do this.
You definitely have a gift for finding the right words at the right time.
Adrian.
Well, most of the time.
The death threats and the comments about how punchable my face is under this video are actually the least of my concerns about it. The more concerning thing is that it's characterized as fitness advice. I'm not giving fitness advice. He has a master's degree in kinesiology. I don't have that. I'm not claiming to have that. And we're both not nutrition professionals. Let's make that very clear. I'm an eating disorder recovery advocate. And I am advocating for better relationships with food because I needed a better relationship with food and fitness. I would never react to one of Greg's videos or use any fitness influencer's video to attack them and send hate their way. Which is why I'd also like to mention that I never body shamed Greg, and I'd prefer if you guys also did not body shame Greg, because his body is his body. He has a right to live in it. I don't want anyone body shaming anyone. I would very much like to be excluded from this narrative.
So I'm an intuitive eating and health at every size aligned dietitian. And I want to tell you one thing I hate. I hate that I can't tell you how intuitive eating might or might not affect the way that your body looks. But the thing is, I'm not in the business of making promises I can't keep. Diets, however, do make promises that they can't keep. But what I can say is that intuitive eating will encourage you to care for yourself and your body in ways that diets never will. I recently had someone say, intuitive eating seems like a peace offering to my body. Yeah, that's what it is.
I want someone to love me. I need.
Get your nails done, because it's fantastic and fun. And you look great. 한번 보여주자. And you look great.
Students, you have to stop asking me why you have an F. A 0 plus a 0 is a 0. I don't make the rules. It's an F.
Here you have a white boy who just killed 10 fucking people, not a scratch on him, not shot at, not pushed to the ground, not punched, not kicked, not treated like fucking shit. Nothing. This is clear fucking white privilege, and black people can't even sleep in their own goddamn fucking homes without being shot at by the fucking police. White people, you need to fucking admit that you got fucking white privilege. I don't give a fuck if you like it or not. We are, as white people, protected by the goddamn fucking system, and I know you don't want to fucking change it. That's why you don't speak on it, but I don't give a fuck. My name's Eric Stone, because it's fucking true. Deuces.
To do is not an unreasonable request. Simply readmit one student who may have caused a little trouble here or there.
Yes, but most of Matt Caulfield's fellow students side with Principal Green on this one.
Green could offer to shorten the school day by 15 minutes. They'd follow him anywhere.
They can make a lot of noise, though. This rally, for instance.
They can rally all night for all the good it's going to do them. Howard Green has until Friday at 3 o'clock to rescind his ruling, or it's going to be his last day at Cape Side.
It would seem to me that firing Principal Green is as extreme as him choosing to expel Matt Caulfield. Now, are you really sure that firing their principal is what's best for the students?
It's what's best for this community.
And that's who you're responsible to, the community.
Ultimately, yes.
As you see, apparently UK has disowned me now. This is all because I painted my nails. Also, occasionally I wear makeup, just because I like to feel like me sometimes. So this means I need a country. So, who wants me?
It, she ain't trying it. He keep calling me crime. Dance how you killed this. I understood the assignment.
Do you want to form an alliance with me?
Absolutely, I do.
Good. Good. Excellent.